We're back for our daily NBA best bets here on New Year's Eve 2025. Our best bets for December 31st, the final day, obviously, of the calendar year. We've got a good amount of games today, all day long, kicking off with our earliest game, which we will have a best bet for at 10 a.m. between the Golden State Warriors and the Charlotte Hornets, and capping the night off with the nightcap being in Oklahoma City with the Thunder and the Blazers. And again, we'll have best bets for both the early game and the late game, so make sure to stay tuned throughout the video again for our 5 best bets today for the NBA. I'll say this real quick. I'm done with the Lakers. Not in terms of being a fan. I can't be done with that, unfortunately. No, I'm done taking Lakers money line with anything, guys. I'm just done. We'll do player props to the Lakers, and that's about it for the time being. Until something changes, until AR comes back, or until this team starts playing defense. Or don't the Lakers for now. I can't do it. They don't play defense. They don't know what defense is. You can't win a game if the other team is shooting 70% in the first half. No interior presence. You don't get a hand up anywhere. Lazy as hell. I hate that team sometimes, man. I hate them. But it is what it is. Folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA best bets here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our college basketball best bets, so go make sure to check that video if you have not yet. Also on the channel, our college football predictions. The playoffs resume today with the late night game over in the Cotton Bowl between Ohio State and the University of Miami. So go make sure to check out that video, as well as later today, we're going to have our NFL Week 18 predictions, the final regular season week, obviously, of the NFL season. Our predictions will be out later today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Again, NFL Week 18 predictions. You're not going to want to miss those. Okay, on to the first now of our 5 best bets today for the NBA. We're going to kick things off again with that earliest game over in the Spectrum Center, I think it's still called that, in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte Hornets versus the Golden State Warriors. Steph's homecoming. You see him at the Davidson game yesterday, and now here the Warriors are on the road in Charlotte, taking on, again, the Hornets. Give me Hornets spread. Charlotte is at home, and they're getting 7 points. Absolutely. Charlotte's playing better basketball. The Hornets are playing much better basketball. They have found their new franchise player. Obviously, we're talking about Knuppel. Knuppel is questionable today, so it does need, actually, it's probable. Okay, he's going to play. Not concerned anymore. I thought he was questionable. But Knuppel has been the new franchise player for the Charlotte Hornets. Yes, LaMelo Ball still plays on this team. He has been having better nights. Knuppel, though, is the franchise, and Knuppel will return back to the lineup likely tonight after not playing on the 29th against the Milwaukee Bucks. In a close game and a valiant effort by Charlotte, they kept fighting back in that game against the Bucks, ultimately losing it by 10 points. Brandon Miller threw it down and posterized Kyle Kuzma in that game. An eventful outing between Charlotte and Milwaukee. But if they can continue to get Knuppel and Ball playing well at the same time, all right, guys. The Hornets are slowly building something. Now, I feel like the Hornets are always in the process of, okay, something's about to happen with them, and then nothing ever actually happens. But I don't know. I mean, we got to give the Hornets credit. They're 11-21, but they've looked much better over this last, 8-game stretch. They've been playing much better basketball. I guess they're 4-3 in their last 7 games, so there's that. Lost to Milwaukee on the 29th, but prior to that, back-to-back victories against the Washington Wizards at home, and then a road win over in Orlando against the Magic. Prior to that, 2 straight L's, but then back-to-back wins on the road in overtime against the Cleveland Cavaliers on a matinee game on the road, and then a victory at home against the Atlanta Hawks. I get it, beating the Hawks is not that difficult, but man, Knuppel in some of these games, how about 33 points, 3 straight games for Knuppel, 33, 29, 28 points. He can get it done. I know, again, he's been hurt. LaMelo Ball's taken over the scoring. Brandon Miller put up 31 in their their loss against the Milwaukee Bucks. But Charlotte is dangerous, and this just feels like a weird spot. 1 o'clock game over in North Carolina. It's a game that I think the Warriors are going to come out a little bit sluggish for. I mean, hell, it's a 10 o'clock local time start for this team, and I get it. Golden State's been on the road for quite a bit now, as they went to Toronto, where they lost an overtime game where they couldn't score an OT, and they played Brooklyn, where Draymond Green was taunting a 90-year-old man. But it's still a 10 o'clock local time game for Golden State as they take on the Hornets again over on the East Coast. The final game of this 3-game road trip for the Warriors as they return home back on the 2nd against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Steph's still playing out of his mind. It's a reoccurring theme with the Golden State Warriors, and I will keep talking about it with Steph Curry. He's just that good. The rest of the team still struggles to get him any help. They were in a back-and-forth fight with the Brooklyn Nets, one that they pull away from in the 4th quarter. Not too surprised. We know what the Nets can do. Steph puts up 27. Michael Porter Jr. also puts up 27 for Brooklyn. But then where does the other production come out of for the Warriors? Well, Jimmy gets you 20, and then Draymond gives you 7. Moses Moody gets you 12 points. Sorry, 4 points in 12 minutes. Let me clarify. And then you get a couple guys who score double digits off the bench. Quentin Post plays 5 minutes and scores 3 points. D'Anthony Melton scores 10 off the bench. Will Richards scores 10. Yeah, get Steph some help. How about that? Get Steph some help. I like how Kuminga's the only player on the Warriors roster who doesn't play. Like, I know Kerr hates that guy with a passion. Okay, he's gonna have 0 trade value. Who's gonna want to bite on Kuminga when I don't know, Gary Payton's not that bad, but so like Gary Payton's getting more minutes than Jonathan Kuminga. And Gary Payton doesn't score. I get he's out there playing defense, but like Pat Spencer gets minutes and Kuminga doesn't. Guy Santos gets minutes and Kuminga doesn't. How are you going to command any value out of Kuminga? They're not. I don't know. But that's still my problem with Golden State. There's no help for Steph. Yes, the help is Jimmy Butler, and the help is Jimmy Butler forcing his way to the free throw line. Look at the Brooklyn game. Butler hits 5 shots from the field. He goes to the line 12 times, he hits 11 of them. That's how he gets his 21 points. He doesn't shoot the ball that well anymore. He just puts his head down, drives to the hoop, and hopes he gets fouled because Jimmy Butler has legitimately one of the best whistles in the NBA. And there's just not much going on with Golden State. It's a lot of Steph, and then it's okay, who can help Steph by getting hot from beyond the arc? Will it be Moody? Will it be D'Anthony Melton? Will it be Podziemski? Will it be Will Richard? Will it be Guy Santos off the bench? Will it be Draymond? Somebody's got to get hot for Steph. Somebody's got to get going. Who's it going to be? It's just, they're so dysfunctional, man. I know they're a game over 500, but I mean, that Toronto loss kind of just encapsulated this entire Golden State season so far. I'm going with the Brooklyn Nets here. The Charlotte Hornets. I'm taking the Hornets after that Warriors performance against the Nets. Why? Charlotte can score. They can. LaMelo, Knuppel, Brandon Miller. Thinking Miles Bridges is playing. I'm pretty sure Kalkbrenner's still out. Still no Kalkbrenner. Okay, again, you get Debate off the bench. There's players, man. I like Charlotte quite a bit in this spot. They're being given 7 here. Yeah, give me the Hornets plus 7 at home against the Golden State Warriors. On to our second best bet of the video. We move to our 1 of 2 player props of the day. Let's go to the Atlanta Hawks hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves. Trey Young over 21.5 points. I know Trey played horribly on the second night of a back-to-back against the New York Knicks. I understand there is a lot of talk about Trey Young potentially getting traded and just the trades in general that the Atlanta Hawks are about to make. And, okay, let's just say it. The trade that is probably going to happen, or at least I know Atlanta's pushing for, is Trey Young and Zachary Risacher for Anthony Davis. Now, does that actually make sense for either party? I mean, I guess if you're Atlanta, sure, but what does adding an injury-prone AD who's injured right now do for your team? I don't know. I mean, realistically, what does the trade look like? Is it just is it just Risacher and Trey for AD? I mean, salary cap-wise, it works. Do the Hawks have to throw in a pick? I think that's legitimately the trade. Trey Young and Zachary Risacher, they make legitimately about the same exact money as Anthony Davis makes, those two combined. That's probably the trade that happens. I mean, I don't think Atlanta can command any more. I mean, maybe they might do the Hawks a favor and take D'Lo. No, they can't take D'Lo. I think it is just AD for Trey Young and Risacher. It's a trade that I don't think really helps either team that much. I think it helps Atlanta a little bit, but what's AD going to really do for your team? You already have a bunch of bigs. Is Kristaps going in that trade maybe? But why would the Mavs really want Kristaps? I don't see it for either team ultimately. So maybe if you add Porzingis to the trade, and then, okay, well, then the Hawks got to get something else back, but who are they going to play at the 1 who the Mavs would realistically give them? I mean, would they want Ryan Nembhard? Maybe, but I don't even think that works salary cap wise. So it would have to be like Nembhard plus someone who's making a lot of money. Oh, it'd be Clay. This is such a stupid trade, though. I mean, it would be something like AD, Nembhard, and Thompson for Trey Porzingis and Risa Shea. Who wins? Nobody. I feel like that can't happen. It's probably going to be Trey and Risa Shea for Anthony Davis. And if the Hawks do that, who's playing point guard? Probably Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and that's what they want to do, I think. And then you go Walker, Daniels, Risa Shea's gone, so it's Jalen Johnson to the 3, AD, then Onyeka. Okay, I don't get it. Whatever, again, that's a story for another day. We do need to talk about Trey Young's points today. I think he'll go over 21.5. I do just feel like it's important to talk about the potential future of Trey Young in Atlanta. He's been the franchise guy and the face of the Atlanta Hawks for so long, and a former number 1 overall pick who Atlanta's already given up on in his second season. The guy's 21, 22. I mean, sure, he hasn't completely panned out yet. He's no Cooper Flag. He's no Zion Williamson. He's not Anthony Edwards. I understand, but we've never thought to be that, though. We always thought that draft class 2 seasons ago was one of the weakest in a very long time, and it's pretty obvious it is the weakest draft class in a very long time. It is what it is. I remember watching that year in college basketball, and I was like, oh, okay, Zach Edey's the player of the year. Okay, he was the 9th pick in the draft. It was a very international draft class, and it's been mid. No one's really stood out that much in that class. Obviously, there's a few exceptions, but I just don't understand why the Hawks are already giving up Risa Shea, and I feel like they're so pressured. They think they can win right now, and sure, maybe with a weak East, yes, you're 15-19. It's not like, oh, you're the 6th seed, and okay, a big push can get you to the 3 seed by the postseason. I mean, a big push would get them probably the 5 seed if they got Anthony Davis and AD stayed healthy. But what do you do with all those bigs? AD, Onyeka, and Porzingis? And, you just picked Asa Newell? You have Mohamed Gay, too? You have so many bigs on your team. I don't know. Anyways, you know what the Hawks are going to do, though? They're trying to drive this Trey Young trade value way up. Completely up. After Trey's performance against the Knicks, historically, he's always played well against New York. Did not on Saturday. Trey Young against the New York Knicks, 2 for 9 from the field, 0 for 4 from beyond the 3-point line. He plays 31 minutes and he scores 9 points. Yikes. Hawks sit him down for the OKC game, which is a little weird because, hold on, you just played him on a back-to-back. And then you rest him for the Thunder game, well, because he would have got abused in the Thunder game, obviously on the court, in terms of trying to deal with, I mean, who do you match up Trey with? He's got to sit in the corner of Lou Dort all game long. I don't know why they sat him for that game, though. I mean, I get it stylistically, but they knew they couldn't beat the Thunder. And they hung around. They did put up 130 on the Thunder, which is the most any team scored on OKC in a very long time. But that's just what the Hawks do. They score points and they lose, which, oh, by the way, this team's now lost 6 consecutive games. So back to my point here. They're trying to drive this Trey Young value up tonight, guys. Trust me. They're going to try to go out there and just give him the rock and let him go all night long. This is maybe Trey's last game in Atlanta. It may be. They go on the road for 3 consecutive games. New York, Toronto, Toronto. They don't return home until January 7th. If these AD/Risa Shea/Trey Young trade talks continue to intensify, is that a word? I think it is. Maybe this is Trey's last game in Atlanta. I mean, hell, you got news reports saying, or articles saying they should waive Trey Young. What? I don't know, man. I'm going to go Trey at over 21.5 points tonight. You got to look at all the games in the Trey return. I'm going to wipe out the first game because he only played 20 minutes against the Hornets, and that was his return night. 3 games after, 35 points against the Bulls in 26 minutes, 22 points in 31 minutes against Chicago. I know the Bulls don't play defense, but still. 30 points in 32 minutes against the Heat, and then just a bad game against the Knicks. 22 points should still come easy for Trey. Minus 115 for legitimately an all-time great Hawks player whose tenure is quickly coming to an end, it seems like, in Atlanta, which is crazy. I get it, he doesn't fit the timeline, but does Anthony Davis fit your timeline? See, again, I don't want to spend too much time on the trade. I feel the Hawks lose a Trey Young and Risa Shea for AD trade, but the Mavs are going to want more, I think. I still think they lose it, but I still think the Mavs are going to want even more than just that because they traded Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. So ultimately, you're going to trade Luka for Trey Young and Risa Shea? And 1 first-round pick and Max Christie? I feel like they're going to want a lot more than just that. I think the Hawks are going to scramble and overpay for Anthony Davis. They're going to send Porzingis. They're going to send a couple picks. I think they're about to get fleeced, man, because they feel like, oh, this is our year to win something. No, it's not. It's not. Anyways, on to this game. Oh, man. Okay, yeah, I am picking the Chicago Bulls without Josh Giddey. If they don't win this game, we are laying off of the Bulls until Giddey returns. Okay, this is their one chance without Josh Giddey. Giddey has a left hamstring strain, and he's going to miss a couple weeks. I don't think Kobe White's playing tonight either. White got injured in their last game as well, and he's been ruled out too. So it is going to look like a different Bulls team when Kobe's back on the court, obviously, and I don't think White's going to be out nearly as long as Josh Giddey's going to be out. Again, Giddey's probably looking at 2 to 3 weeks here. Okay, I actually kind of believe a little bit in Trey Jones. Trey Jones just doesn't get to play that much, but in the limited minutes Trey Jones gets, and albeit those are 20 minutes Trey Jones gets on the court, he's a relentless finisher down low, man. I mean, Trey Jones is going to attack the hoop. He's not going to shoot like White and Giddey do, and he's not going to facilitate an offense like Giddey does, but Trey Jones is still a decent passer. He sets guys up, and again, he's going to attack the rim. And so now these two guys who are likely going to start over Giddey and White, we assume is going to be Trey Jones and Ayo Dosunmu. Again, they do different things than both Giddey and White. They don't shoot as well as these guys, but they do bring still that Chicago pace, that Bulls hype, quick pace basketball. I think it's going to be a little difficult for New Orleans tonight. The Pelicans, you have to score when you play this team, obviously, because the Pelicans are just one of these high-scoring losers. They won their 5-game winning streak. They started their year 3-22, and they then proceeded to win 5 consecutive games against Portland, against Chicago, over in the United Center. And they're going to play them again in Chicago? That game was... Wait. They're playing them again in Chicago tonight? Hold on. That never happens. Wait, why? Did they move that first game? I'm missing something here, because this almost never happens. Are we sure this game's actually in Chicago? Or did ESPN get this wrong? No, because that means multiple sites that I've checked have got this wrong. No, the game's in Chicago. No, that's actually confusing. Why are they... hold on. I'm actually... Why are the Pelicans playing twice in Chicago? Am I tripping? NBA Cup schedule? No, but they play... It's the West team playing in the East. Is this done? Has this ever been done? Sorry, guys, I'm at a loss for words here. I've never seen this on the NBA schedule ever. Because I just picked this up. The Pelicans have gone to Chicago and won before. I think we had Bulls money line in that game. Oh, they're playing the Bulls 3 times this year. What? Wait, and they're playing them a 3rd time in Chicago too? Why is a Western Conference team going to play a team from the East 3 times on the road? What? Oh, no, this is the 3rd time. Wait, they played once in New Orleans. Why are they playing 3 times? Is this because of the Cup? Is it because of the Cup? That's confused. I'm very confused on this one. I think it's because of the Cup, but why are they just playing another... I thought the West teams play the West teams in the Cup and the East teams play the East teams. This is confusing. I think that's it. I think it's the Cup. So that was my confusion just wrapped up right there. That's weird. Yeah, I think it's a Cup thing. But that's why you never see it, because I think it's the first time this ever happened, right? Where a West and East matchup's going to happen 3 times in 1 year. This is so odd. Anyways, going back to my point, I believe the Pels are 2-0 against Chicago this season. They are, winning the first game in New Orleans and then winning the last one earlier in December. Okay, I mean, the Pelicans, again, they went on the run, but right now they just look like crap. And sure, 2 out of their 8 victories this year are Chicago, and they were part of that last winning streak where they beat Portland, Chicago on the road, Houston in overtime, Indiana, and Dallas. But now they're going back on a skid, right? They've lost 4 consecutive games, losing to Cleveland, losing back-to-back at home against the Suns, and then losing their last game at home against the New York Knicks. Sure, good teams, yes. But again, now there's a precedence of losing again. Herbert Jones still out. I'm going to go with the Bulls here. Even the Bulls shorthanded. Oh, Jose Alvarado, by the way, suspended due for fighting Mark Williams. Which I saw a tweet, I don't remember who put this tweet out there, but I did find it a little funny, that someone should just, if you only get suspended for punching someone for 2 games, someone should just take one for the team and punch out Lou Dort 1 game, just send a message, and then you'd be a hero. I found that a little funny, not gonna lie. Anyways, I'm going to go with the Bulls. Again, I don't think, like, obviously, Trey Jones and Ayo Dosunmu in for Gideon White is not sustainable long term in terms of the Bulls are not going to have that same success obviously. They're not going to have that same success for, more than 4 games without those guys in the lineup and with starting Jones and Dosunmu because obviously your bench unit gets a lot worse. But in a 1-game situation, I think they're going to be able to be fairly successful. We'll see about Vooch. Vooch is a thing every night. Oh, is Vooch going to play well? Is he not? They need to shut down Zion on that side of the ball. But I'm going to go with the Bulls here. I will be honest with you, probably my least favorite pick of the day. Like, again, I like all these to a certain extent. If I had to rank the picks, though, this is likely last. So just know that going into this game. I'm going to go Bulls money line -105 at home for the second time this year against the New Orleans Pelicans. On now to our 4th best bet of the video, we go to the NBA Cup Championship rematch between the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. Give me San Antonio. I'm going to take the Spurs at home. Guys, the Spurs are the second best team in the NBA. I think you could argue they are the best team in the NBA, but in terms of likeliness to win a championship, I would currently put San Antonio in second. Now, here's my thing, and right, I know they've beaten OKC 3 times. I still think likeliness to win a title, probably still OKC over them, but I'm not denying how good the Spurs are. They have lost back-to-back games. That's why I'm even more inclined to pick them here. I don't think San Antonio loses 3 games in a row. They are too good to lose 3 games in a row. They have not lost 3 games in a row all year long. San Antonio is a 23-9 team. Again, I don't think they lose their 3rd consecutive game. Don't believe so at all. They lose the cup game to the Knicks. They then go on to win 5 in a row. Then they drop back-to-back games to Utah at home. And then Cleveland on NBC beats them as well at home too. The Spurs are 0-2 with Victor Wembanyama back in the starting lineup. Obviously, that's not the problem because Wemby has put up big numbers in his first 2 games back as a starter. How about 32 points against the Utah Jazz, 26 points, and 14 boards against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Wembanyama has been massive, obviously, for the Spurs team. Face the league, some would say. Again, that's just how good Wemby is. The Spurs have some injuries going into this game. Devin Vassell is out. I think Stephon Castle is going to play. Castle questionable with the left thumb strain, so we'll see what happens with him. But I think they have enough to beat New York tonight. The Knicks have won 3 straight games, but I think this one does mean something. It's in San Antonio. This part does mean something. Games in San Antonio. Sure, we've already seen the game once so far this season. It was in a neutral site and it was in Vegas. The Spurs came up a little bit close. Very competitive game until the 4th quarter. That's what I can say about that one, right? The Spurs, I thought personally, were in control of that game. I mean, hell, the score dictates that. They were up by anywhere from 3 to 7 for most of that game, and the Knicks in the 4th quarter came on huge, went on a big run to start the 4th quarter, and ultimately just pulled away from San Antonio. So a good victory for the Knicks. They win the cup, obviously. That's great for them. I think San Antonio at home is going to make the difference in this game. And as well, too, that was still Wembanyama on a minutes restriction. They're still watching, okay, we got to make sure Wemby's only playing, in 5-minute intervals, and we got to be really a hard limit on 25, specifically for Wembanyama. Don't have that issue anymore. I think the Spurs are going to be okay in this spot. And yes, they had a really big day to Dylan Harper, and we'll see again, Harper is up and down at times. I mean, I will never forget the 1-point performance he had against the Washington Wizards when we had Dylan Harper's over. That was great. That was awesome. But still, San Antonio, I think, is more than due for a victory at this point. The Knicks are good. I'm not going to say that they're not. I have my doubts in the postseason. I still am, straight up saying, I don't think they're going to win in the playoffs in the East. I think maybe they should win a series because they'll probably be the 2 seed. They're not winning the Eastern Conference Finals, I'll tell you that, okay? The Knicks are not going to the NBA Finals. I'm very confident in saying so, even though they are the odds-on favorite to win the East at plus 240, which is kind of insane in my opinion, but whatever. They're a good regular season team, though. They're a good regular season team. Josh Hart's still out, though. He's been out for the entire and will continue to be out for the entire road trip. Mitchell Robinson's out tonight, who can make a difference, man. Robinson on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, there was some spots in that NBA Cup game between New York and San Antonio where Mitchell Robinson was making plays, was getting on Wembanyama. That's not a factor tonight. So, I mean, those are 2 key misses in this game because Josh Hart did hit some big shots in the NBA Cup game, if I'm not mistaken, in some, big spots in that game. it was a random Josh Hart score, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Hart had 11 points, but he had one big three-pointer late in that game. Mitchell Robinson had 15 rebounds. And sure, again, Karl-Anthony Towns is one of the NBA's leading rebounders at the same exact time, but missing Robinson in this game is massive. And Josh Hart as well, who is a starter on your team. I think Tyler Kolek's on the injury report too, but I believe Kolek is going to play. He's probable for today's game, so he's going to play, but it's still a Knicks rotation of 8 players. An 8-man Knicks rotation, sure, you're going to get your guys for majority of the game. OG, Cat, Brunson, Bridges all have to play their 40 minutes per night because of the injuries again. I think the Spurs get them here. I think the Spurs, and this is the type of team, too, that really cares about regular season basketball, and they should. They should care about regular season basketball. They haven't proven anything yet. They have beaten the Thunder 3 times, which is impressive, but ultimately the Spurs haven't proven anything in terms of, the grand scheme of things in the playoffs. So it's a team that, this is why I thought the Cup was so big for them, and all these Thunder games have been so big for this team too. They are trying to prove everything every single night. They're trying to prove they are the best team in the West, or that they are a series contender this year. And will they likely land the 1 seed? Probably not. They've now fallen back of, or 4.5 games back of the Thunder for the 1 seed in the West. Probably not going to get that, but in all likeliness, this will be the matchup that we're going to see in the Western Conference Finals, unless Houston gets them, which I'm thinking maybe will happen, because that'll probably be a second-round matchup between Houston and San Antonio, which is probably one I would favor the Rockets in still, actually. But who knows, right? I mean, that could easily go to the Spurs, too. I just think playoff experience might go with Houston in terms of, Şengün's been in the playoffs, but KD, obviously. But again, we'll see on that. If I had to guess right now, Final Four in the West is probably OKC, Denver, San Antonio, Houston. I think we get Lakers, Nuggets 4-5, and the Lakers probably lose, unfortunately. And then, obviously, Thunder, Spurs, and Rockets all get there, too. But San Antonio is the type of team that actually cares about the regular season, and they are still out to prove something. And they don't forget about that L that they took in the Cup. So I'm going to take the Spurs here. They are still yet to win with Wembanyama back in the starting lineup. In my opinion, that's going to change tonight. And again, close game in the Cup. I think the difference maker tonight is going to be the fact that they're at home. So I'm going to go San Antonio beating the Knicks -120 from the Frostbank Center in San Antonio, Texas. On to our final best bet of the video. We go to that final game of the year of 2025 over in OKC. And we're going to be taking Donovan Clingan over on points tonight, over 10.5 for the former UConn Husky. Guys, Clingan's scoring has been huge for Portland as of late. And it's been that three-point ball and the consistency and the confidence in which Donovan Clingan currently has shooting that three-point ball that has been absolutely massive right now for the Blazers. Last 2 games for Clingan, 18 points. You know what he does for this team. We talk about it all the time with Portland, about how tricky they are and how they are built on the offensive rebound and the second chance buckets that they get, because they're not the highest percentage three-point shooting team. They're not the highest percentage shooting team in general. But the fact of the matter is that they get offensive rebounds, they get second chance opportunities, and it's because of players like Donovan Clingan and Denny Adjiva too, who just extend possessions, and they are a pain in the ass to deal with. So that's Clingan's job. But the addition of the scoring and the shooting out of Donovan Clingan has been massive as well. Again, back-to-back 18-point games for Clingan against the Mavericks. 18 points on 8 of 10 from the field, and then 2 for 4 from the three-point line. It's that added three-point shot that really makes him tough, because now you got to really respect Clingan at the top of the key, or just at the three-point line in general. He's going to likely, he's going to have Chet on him all game long, obviously, with the Hartenstein injury, but you're now going to force, you're going to have to force Chet Holmgren to come out there and play you, which, again, Holmgren likely going to win the Defensive Player of the Year. I believe he's by far now the favorite to win the Defensive Player of the Year. Yes, he is. Actually, Wembanyama's in there too, but Wemby might not play 65 games, so it's probably going to go to Chet. Anyway, just like how, by the way, Shea's definitely going to win the MVP. Like, that's automatic now. With Jokic's injury, he's not going to play 65 games. It is automatically going to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I would love for it to go to Luka, but Luka's playing on a team that's going to win. We'd be lucky to win 50 games. Shai's team's going to win 65. It's going to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Again, no shocker to me. But anyways, I think Cade maybe should deserve a look, but it should definitely go to Shai. Regardless of all that, though, right, Clingan is going to have Chet Holmgren on him tonight. They're going to have to respect the Clingan three-point ball, which should open up a lot of things for the Blazers in general. But again, that three-point shot is huge if you have Clingan points. And we look at Donovan Clingan, we look at 6 out the last 7 games he has played, And Donovan Clingan has gone over or got into double digits, 5 of 7. He's gone over 10.5 points. He had one 10-point performance against the Los Angeles Clippers out of that bunch. And sure, he has the likely defensive player of the year on him here, so that might limit what he can do down low. But again, a lot of Clingan's points are not plays ran for Clingan and let's make sure Clingan's down low, let's feed him. No, it's putbacks, it's transition, and it's more putbacks, it's alley-oops to Clingan. It's not just, okay, enter the ball down low to Donovan Clingan, watch him work, back down, hook. He can do that, but that's not how Portland completely utilizes him. So it's not like I'm too concerned with the matchup with Chet, because there are going to be ways that Clingan can score in not just straight back down opportunities or, okay, we got to get a bucket, go down low. Because obviously, if the Blazers need a bucket, they go to Ajava, or they go to Shaedon Sharpe from beyond the arc, or Caleb Love's been hot last couple games. It's Ajava's team, and Ajava, if they really need a bucket, again, Ajava just drives and 50-50 chance he gets fouled or not. But again, they're not a good shooting team. They're a low percentage shot everywhere. Clingan gets all those rebounds. Clingan averages 11 boards per game. He had 18 rebounds against Boston. And a lot of Clingan's buckets are second chance opportunities. It's a lot of tip-ins. It's a lot of rebound it, dunk it back in. It's just what he does. So it's a fairly low line, I think, tonight for Clingan for a guy who's averaged 12.5 in the month and has really come on as of late. Again, 6 out of his last 7 games, Donovan Clingan has gone over or got into double digits over 10.5 in 5 out of his last 7. So I got to go with Clingan over 10.5 points tonight in OKC as the potential of being a blowout. But don't forget, again, Portland has one of those 5 victories against OKC this season. I fairly expect it to be an easy game for the Thunder, but I will be going with Portland. Well, going with Clingan. I'm not taking the Blazers with anything tonight. We're going to go Clingan over 10.5 points on the road in OKC. Folks, thank y'all for watching our final NBA Best Bet video of the calendar year here in 2025. Of course, we're back tomorrow, though, for our New Year's Day Best Bets here with the NBA. If you have not yet, though, 2 of those back-to-back, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. We'll be back tomorrow again for more daily NBA Best Bets. Make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment if you disagree with any of the picks. Thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.